Hello and indeed welcome to another Whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me. We are still in Scotland, and I'm not complaining. I ain't complaining. We're in Speyside with Glenallachie and the Meikle Toir, the peated Glenallachie. What piqued us whiskey enthusiasts' interest with the Meikle Toir was this is pretty much Billy Walker now in charge of Glenallachie for some time. This is Billy Walker's pretty much his first stuff, technically. Yes, he's been there a while, but pretty much everything that up to this point at Glenallachie, and most of what Glenallachie have been putting out to this point, has been legacy spirit that was there whenever Billy took over Glenallachie. So it was good to see what they were doing here. And I mean, let's look at this Meikle Toir. This one, the original 50% ABV, no colour added, non-chill filtered. So it's what sort of we would be expecting of Billy Walker. You know, it's that quality, it's that touch of finesse. It's him bringing what he knows and what he appreciates about whiskey and bringing it to us enthusiasts and bringing it to the world. It's not just us enthusiasts. This is for everybody. So let's see. The Meikle Toir was just the original was the ex-bourbon cask, and that was why when reviewing and dipping my toe into one of them, into one of the Meikle Toirs, I wanted to go with the sort of original first, nothing with a major finish or a big finish on it. It's a 5-year-old malt. It is youngish, but however, I would suggest that most of us know that some peated malt works better at that younger age, and it's good. It is good. It's creamy. It's you can smell the younger spirit in there. You can still smell the cereal coming through the phenolics, those phenol notes. You can still smell the cereal coming through, and I like that. I like to be able to smell the distillery in there. Yes, it's smoky. Yes, it's creamy. Yes, the sweetness is there. This is a good quality peated malt. It's good quality peated malt in Speyside. Once again, blurring those lines between the regions of Scotland. It's sweet. It's some of those fruitier esters from the younger spirit is still in there, or are still in there, should I say? But it's also smoky, fruity. It has dimension to it. It's. I'm not saying it's one-dimensional by any means, but it's got depth. It's got flavour. So let's get into the palate and see what that flavour is. Sweet, rich. Once again, you can taste the cereal. It's round, it's thick. There's a nice, and it's not something I'll say very often, there's a nice dryness of this. The dryness comes with the heat, and I would suggest it's maybe a cinnamon heat. The smokiness isn't overpowering. It doesn't become claggy on the back of the palate and into the finish. It's a clean thing. Everything about it is, I would suggest, almost box ticking. Very nice, very rich, very round, very well done. Meikle Toir, I think, are going to be, a good branch out of the Glenallachie product. Let's face it, we all put our faith in these guys who have been around a long time. And Billy Walker's one of those guys that we have put our faith in, and he has come up well with the Meikle Toir. Add a drop of water to this. Doesn't change it massively, but it does, if anything, bring out some of those smokier notes. Certainly on the nose and the back of the palate is where you would expect the smoke. I always do anyway with a good peated malt. I expect that smokiness to hang around the back of the palate. Drop of water brings that into play. This is fantastic, and it bodes well for the future. Would I replace it? I will. And I will stick with Meikle Toir and Glenallachie. So what would I suggest as an alternative? Well, it's a bit difficult, this one. I've used this one as an alternative already. Fairly recent. It's another fairly recent, young, 5-year-old peated malt, and it's the Ardnahoe, the inaugural release. And I don't like firing inaugural releases or things like that out there for the simple fact that in most cases they're gone already. You can't buy them, and I think that is pretty much the case with the inaugural release from Ardnahoe. However, if you do see it, pick it up. I could easily have, I suppose, have said the Infinite Lock from Ardnahoe and said maybe but no. And I'll review it sometime soon and explain maybe why it wouldn't work as an alternative. You're talking more to me along the lines of that inaugural release. Or perhaps maybe the likes of the Ardbeg Wee Beastie, something like that, because it's a bigger, creamier thing, but not quite sure about that either. Maybe, let me see, Kilhoman, something from along the lines of Kilhoman. Yeah, that would be closer to what I would suggest is what's going on with Meikle Toir and what they're doing. And look, they're doing well. They're doing good stuff. And it bodes well, as I've already mentioned, for the future. So good on them. That's me. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much to my patrons. Should anybody wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below. I'll see you soon with something else. Until then, look after yourselves and here's to your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.